What is up, guys? Zach in here, and in today's video, I want to give you exactly everything you need to know on how to master acquisitions in your wholesaling real estate business and really give you a complete breakthrough of the entire process so you know exactly how to talk to your motivated sellers, how to go from start to finish on the entire wholesaling real estate process, and most importantly, how you can start closing your deals, closing your motivated sellers for the best success possible. I'm excited. I'm jacked up today because I know I'm going to help as many people as possible today learn exactly how to close deals in wholesaling real estate and, most importantly, live their dream life through the power of wholesaling real estate. But before I get into it, do me a favor. Make sure y'all hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, comment below your questions, and I'm here to help you become the best wholesaler possible today when it comes to mastering the art of acquisitions. Now, most gurus, most schmoorus, will charge probably $2-3 grand for the information I'm going to give today. And a lot of this information I do have are in these little courses. And, everyone really copies from each other to a point, but really everybody knows what works in acquisitions and what doesn't. And the top people that have courses on it, guess what? I figured the same thing out when I'm able to close 7 figures every single year in wholesaling real estate assignment fees, and I can give it to you absolutely for free. So that's what we're doing today. That's why I'm excited. I'm excited to share with you how to do it and really give you $3,000 really today for free of wholesaling real estate content information. But before I get into it, you know what I got to do. I got to get you jacked up, excited to learn wholesaling real estate. And the only thing I can do is tell you it's wholesaling time. Woo!
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and they got go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
Let's go, guys. So, we're ready to go. We're excited. We're going to learn acquisitions 101 today as a beginner, how to go from beginner to expert, really. And really, the big secret of getting really good in acquisitions, really good in wholesaling real estate when it comes to closing sellers, acquisitions-wise, really comes down to one thing. And this is really having that experience and that practice. And how do you get that experience and practice? Well, if you know what to do, then it's going to be a lot easier to get that experience in, and it just helps the learning curve, right? You don't have to be an expert acquisitions to get your first, second, third, fourth, fifth deal, but it does help knowing what to do. And eventually when you get your fifth or sixth deal, it gets a little better and it gets a little easier closing sellers. So that's what we're going to do today. That's what I'm excited for. And that's what I'm ready to share with you. So let's get into it and let's really share exactly everything you need to know about why you should get into acquisitions and learn acquisitions. Now, the number one thing you need to understand about acquisitions, and this is a huge one, but acquisitions will make you better at everything. Okay? And I want everybody watching this to understand this. Acquisitions will make you better at everything. Okay? Acquisitions translates to everything. And what do I mean by this? If you get really good at acquisitions and you really learn how to do it, and this is why you should get an acquisition, why you should learn how to close sellers, and why you should learn this. Let me just give you a little, hype you up a little about why you should do it, right? Number one, if you get better at acquisitions, you get better at talking to sellers, you get better at just talking to human beings in general, and you get a lot better at those things. And when you get better with your acquisitions, closing with sellers, it translates to your marketing like crazy. So you think about your cold calling, right? You think about you going out here doing your text blast and you're qualifying sellers, setting up appointments, all these things. You're going to get so much better at just having conversations and really explaining the process, explaining why you're looking to buy properties, simplifying everything. And when you have your cold calls, you're going to sound a lot more confident. Really getting good at acquisitions will bring you so much great confidence that really your marketing, your cold calling, it's going to translate so well. And I've always found when my acquisitions skills went up, my cold calling skills also went up just like not proportionately. If I doubled my acquisition skills, I'd probably say I increased everything by 40% on my marketing. And it's insane because it's like you do one thing, but you get also great effects. Same thing with dispositions. This might seem a little crazy to you, but if you are talking to sellers really well and you know how to close them, you're a lot better at closing with cash buyers. And no, you're not really closing too much on acquisitions. And that's the one thing I will share with you guys in this video a little later. But we are in wholesaling real estate. We are not salespeople. Okay. We are not salespeople and closers, quote unquote. Okay. And not in the way that a lot of people think. Okay. We're a little different the way we do it. But for dispositions, you just get a lot better at having conversations. And the underlying thing on this is you can convey your confidence. You can convey the message you're saying in your marketing, in your acquisitions, in your dispositions. You're going to do well. And a huge point and a huge reason why I absolutely love acquisitions and why you should get really good at it is because you're going to get a lot better at speaking your message. And if you can speak your message to a motivated seller and really convey what you're trying to do, you're going to do well. Same thing with the marketing. So what do I convey in my marketing? Hey, my name is Zach. I'm looking to buy some properties in the area. There's obviously objections we got to get over and all these things, but really when it brings down to your dispositions, you're just going to sound a lot more confident, a lot more professional. And that's honestly the truth of what we're going to do. This is a really important part, but like we are not salespeople. We are not quote unquote closers in acquisitions. I think that's something I think people need to realize a little more. And this is going to be an uncomfortable truth for a lot of wholesalers out here, but it's completely true. But we are not these type of salesperson that you think, right? We are not Wolf of Wall Street. We're not on the phone forcing somebody to sell to us, right? We don't need to buy somebody's property, right? We want to sell properties, but not sell contracts to people that want to buy them. And the best example I can give to you is just selling Reese's peanut butter cups. It's the greatest example of all time. A lot of people will try to sell Reese's peanut butter cups to kids that are deathly allergic to peanut butter. And then they come back to me and saying, Zach, I must be so bad at acquisitions. And it's not that. You need to sell peanut butter to people that love peanut butter. If someone's allergic to it, it's not going to do well. If you're trying to sell milk to someone with a dairy allergy or lactose intolerant, it's not going to do well. So the first thing we have to understand about acquisitions is we only want to talk to people that want to sell their property. And this is very important when dealing with a motivated seller. They have to want to sell their property. You will go mad. Could never close somebody that hates peanut butter to buy something with peanut butter. Like it makes no sense at all. And a lot of these closers and salespeople say, oh, I could sell it to anyone. I can sell anything to anyone. And that's not the truth. A lot of what we're doing in wholesaling real estate for the acquisition side is disqualifying. We're getting rid of the people that don't want to and just only deal with the people that want to sell the property. And this leads us to a lot better success because I don't want to waste my time trying to close people and try to, get properties under contract with people that do not want to sell the property. It doesn't work. I've tried it. Trust me. This is where a lot of people get disgruntled, upset, and like they get so scared. Like, what if the seller says this or that? Trust me. If it's a true motivated seller, they're not going to tear you to pieces. Real estate agents and unmotivated sellers will tear you to pieces, and they'll be really mean and rude to you. And they're mean and rude to me all the time. But guess what? They're not part of the clientele I want to deal with. So what's the point, right? This is just a very important part. And I think a lot of people have to understand that. But you got to deal with the right person. Acquisitions feeds your family. And at the end of the day here, I want everybody to understand that really acquisitions will feed your family. And that is the point here I'm trying to convey to you today. Why do you want to get really good at acquisitions? Because getting really good at acquisitions is the easiest, surefirest way outside of marketing to double your income. Now, if I'm making $100,000 a year and I'm doing regular marketing and I'm calling that 15, 20 hours a week of marketing for wholesaling real estate, what is easier for me to do? Get better at acquisitions, which might take me 5 hours a week for like a month, and then I don't really have to go that hard on it, or cold calling an extra 20 hours a week for the rest of my life. Which one's better? Because I know for a fact that's probably an extra 1,000 hours going out here. What's right? 52 times 20. That's about 1,000 hours of extra marketing to double my leads. Or all I got to do is do 25 hours. Literally, I'm going to get about $1,000 hours of marketing of results with only 25 hours of work, which is just really upping my acquisition skills, maybe 100. Okay. You're getting a 10x advantage over doing extra marketing when it comes to with your acquisitions. And so it's going to feed your family. You're going to be able to double your assignment fees. You're actually going to connect with your sellers more. And eventually you're just going to make more money. That is the point, guys. So that's why we get into acquisitions. That's why we like it, because it feeds our family, it makes us money, and it gets us rich. That's the point, guys. And it'll translate to anything in life. Promise you that. So let's break down the 3 things of wholesaling real estate that you have to understand, okay? Because I think a lot of people get this really weird, okay? So one thing I've always seen in wholesaling is people try to mix everything together. They try to mix all the acquisitions, marketing, dispo into one thing. And it's really, you have to separate them. And what do I mean by this? You have to understand the key fundamental differences between marketing and acquisitions and separate them. Because right now in this video, I'm doing an acquisitions video. Acquisitions is completely different than my marketing. And let me explain this. The key point of marketing, the only thing I'm focusing on marketing, is finding people that are interested in selling their property for cash. That is it. That's all I'm caring about. If you're interested in cash offering your property, that's pretty much all I care about. Now, there can be some qualifying with the marketing. That's when it gets a little in a gray area, but really not the biggest deal in the world, right? I care more about finding people that are interested in selling their property for cash. A lot of people think they have to close people on a cold call. And that is never the case. You are not closing somebody on a cold call. You're usually never closing people on the first call. Even in virtual wholesaling real estate, you are not doing that, right? The point of marketing is finding people that just want to sell the property and they're interested. This is why my team in wholesaling real estate, we have cold callers. And the cold callers, they're Filipino and the VAs. And all they want to find, if you're interested in those, if you're interested in selling your property, then we're going to bring you to Jeff, our acquisitions agent, which is going to be on my team. Because the Filipino VA is not as skilled in acquisitions as somebody that I've personally trained, right? And so we got to understand is now the lead gets to acquisitions, and now acquisitions going to figure out this is a motivated seller. If it is or it's not, are they qualified? MCTP, appointment, close, money, cash, right? That is the point. You end up doing a lot more wholesaling real estate deals separating the two than without, because when you mix them together, it's a disaster, trust me, because your sole focus on your cold calling is finding people that are interested in selling the property, and that's it. Now, the next part, acquisitions. What is the point of acquisitions? And it's not that little complicated thing I just said, right? The only point of acquisitions is converting a yes, I'm interested in selling my property to a signed contract. That's it. Like we are really not doing anything else here. And that's really the one sentence I can tell of what I'm talking about today is the only goal, sole focus. Oh, I thought it was a king closure. I thought no, we're not focusing on closing and getting that bag and being the most gangster guy out here. Okay. Our sole focus is converting that, yes, I'm looking to sell my property, into a signed contract. That is it. Now, there's some steps in between that, and this is why a lot of gurus charge thousands of dollars for the perfect sales system. But really what I could tell you is simplify this, and your whole business will make a lot more money. And if you really break down what I'm going to say today and really write your notes and really take exactly what I'm saying to heart, it's going to help you a lot, okay? So let's break down exactly what is a motivated seller. So we have to talk about in wholesaling real estate when it comes to converting that, yes, I'm interested in selling my property into a signed contract. We got to understand this thing, okay? We want to convert it, yes, I'm interested in selling my property. We got to figure out if that person is a motivated seller or not. How do I figure out if somebody is a motivated seller? Now, there are sellers and then there are motivated sellers. A motivated seller is exactly what's in the name. They actually have a reason, a motivation to get rid of the property for cash. That is it. They have to have a reason. And a motivated seller, in my personal opinion, now it's kind of different with a lot of other people, but really, a motivated seller is somebody that wants to sell the property for cash and preferably at a deep discount so we can make money. Okay. That is what we're focusing on. So if I have somebody and they say, I'm looking to sell my property, how am I going to figure out if they are actually going to be a motivated seller or not? And this seems like a complicated question, but it's really simple. You have to ask them 4 questions to see if they're a motivated seller. That's it. We just ask questions. And you're going to realize pretty quick, 80% of acquisitions is asking the right questions at the right time, at the right pace, at the right tonality. That is it. 80% of acquisitions is going to be just asking questions. And how do you ask the right questions? You listen. If you can listen properly, absorb that information, and then spit out the perfect questions, you will spit out a really good lead, a really good seller, and a really good deal. Guys, when you see me do my live cold calling, when you see me closing sellers live, it is always about the questions I ask. It is never about how calm or chill, or it's about the questions I ask. And the way I ask these questions is going to be more important than the actual words I speak. And I want you to understand that. Let me say that one. Let's take a little rewind here, okay? Rewind here. The way you ask these questions is more important than the words you actually say. So it's more important how you say it than what you say. So what are the questions that I have to ask to see if I have a motivated seller or not? I literally think of one thing. This is it. It is called MCTP. Write that down. If you are brand new, go through MCTP. MCTP. That is it. That's all I think. When somebody tells me over the phone, I'm looking to sell my property, I literally think MCTP. Okay, let's break it down. And then I go through MCTP. That's it. What is MCTP? Motivation, condition, time frame, and price. That is it. That is all the questions I ask. So let's break down those questions, right? So M, motivation. Hey, Mr. Seller, why are you looking to sell the property? C, condition. Hey, Mr. Seller, can you tell me a little bit about the property? T, time frame. Hey, Mr. Seller, when are you looking to sell the property? And P, price. What price are you looking to sell the house for, right? And the questions you ask here, and really how this kind of goes through, is we'll ask those questions, and if they go well, if I have a good motivation, if the property's in okay condition or bad condition, that's perfect. They want to sell fast and preferably at a decent price, I'll get off the phone pretty quick with them, and I'll basically explain to them, hey, Mr. Seller, that's great. Let me talk over to my partner about this deal and see if this is something we want to buy or not, right? I'm always acting like I'm a tad disinterested. And this really actually helps me get deals a lot because I want the seller selling to me, right? And then from there, we'll schedule an appointment, go on the deal, close it, things like that. But there's a lot of stuff in between. We have to understand how we're doing it, right? A key point of me closing sellers really well comes down to confidence. If I can confidently go to my motivated seller and speak these questions with authority and confidence, that's what we're going to do well. What is confidence? Confidence is basically the belief in yourself of what you're saying. And that's the best definition I found for confidence. If somebody has a better definition, please let me know. But really, the best definition for confidence is a belief in yourself of what you're saying. And so when I can talk to a motivated seller and say, hey, Mr. Seller, me and my partner are looking to buy some properties in the area for cash. I can say that with pure conviction and pure belief in my soul that me and my partner are looking to buy some properties in that area for cash. Because my partner is a cash partner. He is a cash buyer. He bought 5 houses last year for cash. He's definitely look for more at the right price, right? And so that being said, a lot of people have a lot of confidence issues because they don't believe in what they're saying. And a lot of them don't believe the wholesaling process might be real, truly in their soul, or they just haven't gotten their deal yet and they don't believe it. But the best way to gain confidence, again, is with experience and actually just through repetition, right? You can believe you can say it the right way sometimes by just doing it enough and having that experience, right? That's why I could have confidence to go in my truck today and drive over to the studio because I've done it so many stinking times that I'm very confident to do well. Now, if it's the first time me ever driving, I'll be very nervous and probably not have the perfect confidence in it because I'm not an expert in driving, right? And so confidence is going to be very important. The next part here is, let me just give you a couple quick secrets, okay, of how I destroy my competition in acquisitions. I destroy my acquisitions really fast because I do one very important thing. Very, very important thing. And this is the one line. Zach, I get so many people in my market. Zach, how do you get these huge deals? How do you do so well? How are you making 7 figures and I'm not making that? One sentence. Actually care about your seller. This is a shocking revelation. This is going to be mind-blowing revelation. No guru, no real estate, whatever YouTuber type person saying this, no course guru on Facebook or TikTok saying, none of them saying this. This is super important for you to understand, but actually care about your seller. Okay. And I can say for 99% of people out here, you can actually do this. Now, if you're part of the 1% people, I think they're called sociopaths, not psychopaths, I think sociopaths. I don't know what the definition of it really. I'm not saying this in a mean way, but there's like 1% of the population out here that actually can't feel empathy or sympathy in their heart. Like, for example, have you ever seen those animal shelter commercials as a kid where it's like the really sad music and it's like the sad dog and the cold, like hungry? I literally can't watch those. I care too much. It makes me so sad because I have too much sympathy and empathy for that because I have a heart, right? Now, there's like 1% of the population, not because they're mean, terrible people. They can't feel that emotion towards people, right? Just like 1% of people, right? So if you're that part of the 1%, it's going to be a little harder to do this. But I would say for 99% of people watching, you actually want people to have a good day, a good life, and enjoy themselves if it doesn't affect you, right? I would say for 99% of people, that's it. Yeah, the arms of the angels. Don't even get me started with the arms of the angels commercial. But like, most of you guys have hearts and you actually care about people, right? Like, I think that's most people watching this, right? Like, so you can relate to this. But if your seller is going through a bad situation, actually care about them. Ask them how they're doing. Let them speak about what they're going through. And you might not 100% understand it, but like, as long as you can talk and make sure that they understand that you understand what they're going through or have a cognitive understanding of it, you're going to do a lot better, right? And that seller's going to actually be like, okay, this actually person really cares about me. What I can tell you is most of your competition, most of my competition, they care more about the house than they care about the seller. I care less about the house because the only person that has control of getting the best price on the deal under contract is the seller, not the house. The house ain't signing a contract for a lowball offer, but the seller is. So I'm going to focus on the seller. Remember, guys, karma is real in acquisitions. If you legitimately ask your questions in a way that has ulterior motives, you're not going to have confidence. And what did I say confidence was in the beginning? Confidence is a belief in your soul of what you're saying. So if someone says something terrible happened to them and you say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's terrible. Now, if when I say that and I hear something bad happen, I look at someone's eyes when they say that, I generally in my heart feel bad for them. And I want to help them out in their situation. Now, somebody that doesn't really care too much, they're going to say, oh, I'm so sorry. That's terrible to hear. Like, it's the little tonalities that, like, it's the karma. And I hate to say it every which way, but if you legitimately don't care, it's going to come out with the way you talk and your tonality. And it's just the honest truth. So like I said before, guys, 80% of your acquisitions, and I want you guys to understand this, is about listening. And I'm going to say this one more time because I've said this so many times, but 80% of your acquisitions is going to be listening. Rick has said this a million times, and I'll say this a million more times. But God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. So that said, we should focus a lot more on the hearing than we do on the speaking. And I think that's for most people in general, but a lot of the acquisitions is just about speaking. And this is when the tide turns on a lot of people. A lot of people think in wholesaling real estate, 100% for acquisitions, that being this extra person that loves going out here and speaking and talking forever and the gift of gab, they're the best people for acquisitions. And that is never the case. I can tell you, my best acquisitions people are always introverts. Oh, now I have some good extroverts, but the best acquisitions people of all time are introverted people. Why is this? Because they don't speak much, but when they speak, it's the right question. A lot of more introverted people are more analytical on situations, and they can analyze it and really figure out pretty quick of the right questions to ask. And this is really breaking down on the 80-20 rule. And this is the rule you have to understand for acquisitions when it comes down to asking the right questions, okay? Now, this rule basically states that if you are listening 80% of the time, you have to ask questions 20% of the time. Not questions, but you have to talk, okay? So if you look at a conversation, you look 100% of a conversation, a pie chart, 80% of the speaking needs to be done on the seller, and then 20% has to be done for you. And the biggest question I always get is, Zach, what do I say for the 20%? Do I say a speech? What? No. You just ask questions usually for the 20%. And asking those questions will invoke a response. And that's how it works. And when we're talking to motivated sellers, we got to understand we have to avoid the bad words, the potty words. Okay. These are the no-go words. Should never say these words ever. And you'll get in a lot of trouble for saying these words. So you should never say them. Okay. There are banned words in wholesaling real estate that I have for you guys. And I want to break down. There's mainly two banned words you are never allowed to say to your motivated seller because they have negative connotations. They'll make the seller upset, agitated, and stressed out. And that's just not going to help you close a deal at all. Three things mostly. Okay. Let's break this down. Number one, investor. Do not say the I word. This is my biggest pet peeve. This loses more deals than anything else in this business. Do not say the I word. The I word is investor. Okay, guys? Investor, investor, investor. Investor has a negative connotation. Who are you? I'm a real estate investor. Oh, I'm a real estate investor. No. Okay. All right, guys. That just has a negative connotation. Oh, I'm looking to buy your property just to sell it and make a profit off of you. The seller knows you're going to make a profit, but just rubbing it in does not help. Okay. It's like, for example, you're going to a grocery store and you buy $100 of groceries, and then it says it on there. We made $40 in profit off of this purchase. Like, you're going to not like that. And you're probably not going to go to that store, right? And not because the grocery store's making a profit when they sell something, but you got to understand this, that it's like, wait, you're making a profit? Like, it gets a little more upsetting. So don't say the I word. What do you say instead? I'm a cash buyer. Oh, he buys houses for cash. Huh, right? Cash buyer. I get a lot of wholesalers that try to be this crazy hedge fund, Wolf of Wall Street, real estate investment fund type thing. And I'm this big titan of industry. Stop it. Okay. Hey, most of these people that keep talking, most people that brag about being a real estate investor don't own any real estate at all. And it drives me crazy sometimes that I have my competition out here. And they'll say, I'm this big real estate, but I never say I'm a real estate investor. I never say that. I don't even like saying I'm an entrepreneur half the time. Okay. Investor is just a bad term. Don't use it at all. Use cash buyer instead. Remember, guys, you want to be relatable. You want to be relatable to your motivated sellers. And how do you become relatable to your motivated sellers? You relate to them. Are you a real estate investor, Mr. Seller? Then why am I going to relate that to you? Okay. You want to be a relatable person. Now, I'll explain the last part, how to get relatable to your sellers, but contract. Okay. I want you guys to understand this, but a lot of your sellers do not like the C word, and the C word is contract. Okay. Now, the contract, that is a word that will stress a lot of sellers out because it seems final, stressful, getting it done. A lot of people have PTSD from buying cars and they make you sign this crazy contract and it's so stressful and annoying. I'm like, it's really stressful. Do not use the word contract with your sellers. Instead, I want you to use the word agreement. Okay. This is a very important one, but say the word agreement. Okay. Can you just sign an agreement for us to go forward with this property? Versus, can you sign the contract right now? It's a little stressful, right? And you got to remember here that a lot of people have a lot of stress from it. So, for example, Rick does this a lot, and this was huge for me, closing sellers. But even words in contract stress people out. So what do I mean by this? Hey, Mr. Seller, can you sign right here? Or can you put your signature right here? That stresses sellers out. Trust me, there's people that you lose a lot of deals saying that. Instead, don't use the word signature. This is the best hidden gem Rick's done with contracts that I've used, and it works really well. Hey, Mr. Seller, can you put your autograph right there? I'm telling you, this is just a little bit of gems on you. I promise you, this will it would increase the chance of something signing by over 25%. By just shifting the words you say is so much important, right? And how you say it's very important, right? But don't say signature, say autograph. And people, oh, my autograph, I love it. They get in a better mood too. It's how you say the words that are very important, right? Next here is real estate lingo. And I see a lot of people say this with motivated sellers, and it's terrible. Okay. What did I say a little earlier today? I said you need to relate to your sellers. I hate it. Okay. I talk to a lot of lawyers and unfortunately have to speak with a lot of lawyers, sometimes doctors and all these people, right? And doctors are actually really good at this. Lawyers are not. Realtors are like this too. A lot of lawyers have a stick up their butt and they think they are the smartest, most amazing, and they know everything. Now, that's about 90% of lawyers, okay? 10% of lawyers know that they know nothing, and they are just glorified people that have a license, basically, that understand the law. Now, they know a lot more about law than me, but I'm just telling you, it's very important, okay? Now, you got to understand this. If I talk to a lawyer and they try to speak over me, and they try to stress me out. So one thing I've always had is when I talk to lawyers, when they want to talk to me about me buying a property, they try to throw me with all these Latin terms for laws. And is the jurisprudence on the contract and then they say all these law terms that go over my head. And I'm just telling you, I've taken some law classes. I've done well in them, but like I could care less, right? I know the law. I know how to do it the right way, but I always have lawyers look over everything I do. Okay. It's worth my money and I have a lawyer advising me, so it's perfect, but it gets really annoying and it's really hard to connect and have any connection rapport with somebody that speaks over you. So one way doctors are really good at this is if the doctor says you have, you know, I don't know, an abrasion of the fourth thing in your C4, and it's like, oh my gosh, there's coagulated blood in the what? Oh my gosh, this is just so stressful. And like it gets but really a doctor's like, well, basically what happens is you got a cut and there's a little bruise and it's going to heal up, right? And then the medical doctors are actually very good at calming people down by simplifying it, right? But sometimes if a medical doctor wants to go crazy, they can say these crazy words to really stress you out. And my sister's getting her doctorate, so like she can say a lot of things to stress me out when it comes to, oh, you have a thing, a malformation of the, I'm like, what? And it's like, oh, you just got a cut there on your toe, right? Like, so like a lot of doctors can do this, right? A lot of lawyers can do this, and it's a little stressful. Realtors do that. They try to talk over you, right? And you have to understand that you understand real estate lingo. You know what ARV, comps, like tax assessed value, all these things are. But when you speak that to a motivated seller, it's all Latin to them. It's all French. Okay. They don't understand it. Or you're speaking a different language than them. And this like, wait, there's persons I can't connect with them. They're stressing me out and they're saying all these confusing terms I don't know. I don't like this, right? I'm a little stressed out here. I don't want to do this, right? If you simplify things, it's a lot easier. So for example, let's talk about comps. Okay. Hey, Mr. Seller, I would love to buy your house for $400,000, but the comps show that the most this thing is worth is $250 because of this street, this street, this street, this street. That does not work. Okay. That is a terrible thing to say, but you can switch your language up and say, hey, Mr. Seller, I would love to buy your house for $400,000, but I was looking on Zillow and it said the house 2 doors down here, 143 Main Street, sold for $300,000. And it was, I think, 500 more square feet than yours. So like, I'd just rather buy that house than this house, right? You're not using the word comps. You're just switching it up, right? And if you really understand how to say it the right way, it's going to help you out a lot more. ARV, comps, all these, don't say that to your seller. They get confused and they don't like it, okay? This is one sentence you have to understand, but speak at like a 4th grade level or 5th grade level to your motivated seller. This is how you got to do it the right way. So first of all, talk to your seller as if you would with your mom. And I don't know if I'm saying that the right way or the weird way, but like if you're speaking to your mom about real estate and she doesn't really know much, or your grandma, speak it in those terms. Like, are you going to really try to confuse your mom with all this crazy lingo? Oh, mom, the ARV and the comps clearly don't show this, but if I look at the assessed value on it and the TAV and I do my formula, why do you stress your mom out? Most people, hey, mom, like this house sold over here. You're going to explain it. You're going to have patience, right? And just treat it like you're speaking to your mom about the lingo, right? Like, don't talk about the lingo, but like, just explain it. Make the process a lot easier. That's why most people need realtors when it comes to selling and buying a property, because they need someone to handhold them in a simplified process of the entire thing, because it's stressful, okay? Tone and tonality is super important here, guys. The way you speak to your motivated seller, right? The way you talk about it, and especially the tone that you say. The vocal pitch sometimes is very important, right? And sometimes about the spacing of things too. And this is going to be really good for closing the sell. And this is what we're going to get into right now. But I want you guys to understand when it comes to tone and tonality, you got to match your seller's energy. Now, human beings are very complex, crazy, unique people, right? And a lot of people are put into different categories. Some are introverts, some are extroverts, some are really excited, talkable people. Some people are very quiet, down to earth people. Some people just, they don't like talking too much, and they're all over the board. But what you got to understand is I want you guys to practice this, okay? Watch TV shows, watch YouTube videos, speak to people off the street, okay? But just match their energy. And what do I mean by matching their energy? For example, here, if I'm talking to a motivated seller and they're speaking at the same rate I am, it's good to go. You got to understand that people like people that are like them. And it's kind of weird to say that, but a lot of people think the best of themselves. And what I mean by this is psychologically, with your human nature, if your name is Jeff, the most beautiful word in the English language is Jeff. For Zach, the most beautiful word in my language books, probably Zach. Not because I feel like I'm an ego narcissist type person, but because you're psychologically approved. If someone says your name, you're like, right? Like that subconsciously gets you. And so if you say someone's name a lot of times, you're like, I like what this guy's saying. Because you're getting hits in the brain of someone saying my name. I like this, and they like you instead, right? And these are a lot of psychological hacks that you can use basically for anything. And so if I'm talking to someone named Jeff, I'm going to say the word Jeff a lot, right? It's a lot better to say that, right? And this is just going to help match their energy. So hey, I'm looking to sell my property. Yes, what's up? How are you? And I say, yeah, my name's Zach. I'm looking to buy your property. The energies do not match. That seller's not going to like you. Okay. You have to match the energy. If someone's excitable, you get a little more excited. If someone's a little more somber, you just talk a lot calmer. You're good to go, right? This is why, extreme example, right? But I've done this just a tad, right? So if I'm wholesaling real estate, I remember virtual wholesaling in Knoxville, Tennessee. A lot more people in Knoxville, Tennessee have a Southern draw, and they talk with a little Southern accent, right? And I have a lot of family out in old Georgia, right? Like the deep South Georgia, and really deep Southern accents, right? And so I can understand a Southern accent, and it sounds confusing if you don't understand what I'm saying. You're like speaking to people like this, but like when you speak in a Southern accent, it's a lot slower. It's a lot simpler. It's not less elegant, but like it's just a little different, right? And so you have to match someone's energy. And just little tiny languages like saying y'all or how you doing today, or just doing something that help them understand. But like you're some Southern accent, they speak a little slower. They're a lot more kinder in the voice. And it's just a little different, right? And so you just have to understand to match the energy versus a New York person. And in Florida, I have a lot more people, especially South Florida I'm at. There's a lot more people with a New York accent than with a Southern drawl accent, okay? But if I'm speaking to somebody with a New York accent, mostly Bronx or the Queens, okay? These people, they're amazing people. One of the nicest people you'll ever meet when you actually get to know them, okay? On the surface, sometimes not, but actually when you get to know them, they're great, loyal, amazing people. But like they speak sometimes very fast and very direct. And it's kind of weird to say, but like they're very fast and very direct on it, okay? And it's kind of weird to do it, but like they say, what's your offer? What's your offer? What do you want to sell? Like, how much do you want to buy my property for? Like, what's your offer? Like, don't play games with me. Come on. Like, just it's a lot different, right? And you got to match energy. Hey, Mr. Seller, I would love to buy your property, but just think about this one thing really quick. I mean, have you ever bought a car? And you got to match the energy a little more. Not that crazy, but I can tell you just got to match people's energy, and they will like you a lot more. It's a little weirder to say, but like I can tell you, if you can match people's energy, it's going to help you a lot. Okay. And so the next part about that is just building rapport. And when we have conversations with sellers and we start talking to sellers, we're going to have to connect with them and build that rapport. And rapport is basically a word of building that connection, right? And so most people have like best friends, right? And if you have a best friend, you can talk to them for hours. You guys have a good rapport built, and you can really have a connection of things, right? And so how do I build rapport when talking to a seller and really build a little bit of a connection? A little bit of a friendship type thing going on. How do you do it? You just think of the Ford method. F-O-R-D, the Ford method. Now, the Ford method is basically a method of talking to motivated sellers, basically with the Ford. So F-O-R-D, so you talk about family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So Ford, F-O-R-D. If you could think of those 4 questions, kind of like MCTP, but this is for reports called Ford. And actually, I'll write it down for you guys. Ford method. Here it is. Ford method. F-O-R-D. Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Family. Tell me about your family. Is your family from this area? Are you looking to move to be near family, right? Oh, occupation. What do you do for a living? Do you have to get a new job when you got to go somewhere else, right? Our recreation. What do you like to do for fun? Do they have fishing up in Minnesota? Or like, just explain that. And then D, dreams, where they want to be in the future, right? That's a really good way to build a connection and rapport from your motivated sellers. It's very, very similar to MCTP, right? And I think so many wholesalers out here, they get very confused when it comes to building rapport, and they got to think they have to be fake with somebody, but you don't, okay? Very, very important, all right? And now the next thing we have to understand, and this is, we're getting to the closing part here of actually closing a seller, right? It comes down to one important thing. This is conditioning the seller. It is a must. And what I mean by this is, what is conditioning the seller? Conditioning the seller is basically making sure the seller can only give you a yes or no decision to selling the property. Now, there are 3 answers you can get when you try to close a seller. And let me write it down. All right. A lot of people think there's only 2 ways a motivated seller can answer it. So basically what I mean by that, a seller, an offer, things like that. Hey, Mr. Seller, I'm going to offer you $100,000 for the house. A lot of people think it's a yes, no, either it's a yes or no decision, right? No, that is not the worst thing. So it's like, what's the worst thing someone can say when you give an offer? No. Zach, no is the worst thing someone can say. That's actually one of the second best things someone can say. There's only 3 answers, right? But maybe. The worst possible answer somebody can give you is a maybe. And what do I mean by maybe? A maybe is literally pause. It's a pause. It's they don't have to make a decision. It's procrastination. It's the worst. And time kills all deals. So if you extend the time it takes to actually close a deal, it's not going to do well. And so I think a lot of wholesalers out here that they go out here and they try it and then they get the maybes. And the number 1 question I get people stressed out, like, Zach, I have a $40,000 deal. I gave an offer. And before they signed, they said, let me think about it. Maybe. What do I say from that? There is nothing you can say to convince somebody to sign it when they think of maybe and they got to think about it. That's never good. So the 3 things somebody can say is yes, no, or maybe. All right. It's very stressful to say, but it's true that if you go out here and you get the yes, no, or maybe, it's not going to do well, right? We have to eliminate that maybe, because it's like playing tag as a kid. Have you ever heard that kid playing tag in elementary school where you guys are playing tag and before you catch the kid in the corner and before you go hit him for tag, he says, pause, and then he just walks away and then he clicks on pause and he's like a mile away? It is the most annoying thing in the world. And that's what your sellers do. You take all this time, this energy, conditioning, trying to close the seller, and then you try to go and say, would you take $75,000 for the house? And they say, pause. And then they say, I'll think about it. And then they go talk to other people and they kind of play you and then you don't get the deal. This is where my competition gets lost. We have to cut the maybe out. So when we actually talk to a motivated seller, when we condition them, we limit that no. We limit that maybe. So it's only yes or no from there. How we do this? This is conditioning the seller. Now, conditioning the seller, all we have to do before we actually go in the appointment or give the offer, we have to ask the seller 1 key important question. Hey, Mr. Seller, before I actually go see you on the property tomorrow, I just want to make sure one thing's clear. Are you ready to make a yes or no decision on selling the property? I don't want to waste your time or my time, and I'm only going to be able to go to the house once. So are you ready to make a yes or no decision? Yeah, I can make a yes or no decision on selling the property. Perfect. That's good to go. And really, it's one simple sentence. That's all you do. Sometimes you have to go in person or do over the phone before you get the offer. But I can tell you guys, if they say, no, I'm not ready to make a decision right now, they're not a motivated seller. Follow up and wait till they're ready to make a yes or no decision. Every big deal I've ever done, conditioning the seller is a must. No one ever speaks about this in acquisitions. Nobody. And you got to understand that I've had a lot of situations where I'm at the appointment and I give the offer and they say, Zach, I got to think about this right now. It's like a $70,000 deal. Most of the times you just lose out on that $70,000 deal. But guess what I say? Hey, Mr. Seller, remember in the beginning when you said you agreed to make a yes or no decision? I know I'm a man of my word, and I know you're a man of your word. I was just seeing, like, I thought you agreed on that. Are you a man of your word here? Yeah, I'm a man of my word. You know what? Yes. I did tell you I was ready to make a yes or no decision. You ask that question, they subconsciously say yes, but they also remember it. So when they go back, boom, deal closed, right? And I want you guys to understand this too. Big deals like this come from conditioning the seller, but also from knowing about the seller versus knowing about the property. I remember one very, very big deal I did, one of the biggest deals I've ever done. And the seller actually had 2 appointments backed up. It was one seller, I think at 1:00, and I was supposed to go there at 2. And obviously it was 2 wholesalers. The one wholesaler came 30 minutes late, so our times overlapped. And I saw the guy there, and he was part of a wholesaling franchise. I call them the Neanderthals. Okay, that's all the way I could say that the right way, and not saying it in a mean way, but that's kind of their mascot. Nothing bad about them, but he went up there and he talked to the seller a little bit, and then he went in his car and he brought a ruler out and he brought a notepad. And what he did for the entire appointment, because I was there waiting, he took the appointment, he measured everything out, he did his calculations of the repairs, and he made everything perfectly about the property and did a full analysis of it. While that seller was doing it, while that Neanderthal was doing that, I was right next to the seller just talking. We didn't talk about the property, just talked about the weather, the day, and how they're doing. And I think that person wanted to move to Tampa. So we talked about Tampa for like 45 minutes. Okay. And my sister was actually going to USF at the time. So, hey, my sister goes to USF. You're going to Tampa? That's cool. Tell me about Tampa. Like I've heard some great things. I've been there a couple times. We just talk. Okay. We just talk. And that seller knew that I cared a lot more about them, that the other person just only caring about the property. And guess who got the deal locked up? Me, right? I was ready to go. I was serious. And it's a big lesson to learn that you have to care about the seller, not the property, because the only person that has control about getting the deal locked up lowest is the seller. And the property, it doesn't matter how nice you can always get the price down. You cannot change the property, but you can change the price. And to a point, you have to be a little disinterested when you're talking to the motivated seller. It's like, we have a lot of properties we can look at because you want them to kind of be a little more motivated to get rid of the property. And so this brings us back to the last part. And this is the closing part, right? Let's break over some closing lines. But when we speak to the motivated seller, we have to be disinterested. Okay. We have to be disinterested to a point, not too disinterested, but just a little bit, right? And the big part we have to understand is we usually never like saying the price first. Unless you're doing a low ball or a crazy low ball off the bat, we don't usually ever want to say the price first. And the reasoning is because sometimes the seller could have a lower price than you could ever imagine, right? And that being said, if the seller has a lower price than you could ever imagine, you should probably go with that. For example, there's some deals out here that I thought, okay, I'm going to offer 100,000, make 40K. And that's probably the lowest I'm able to get it for, right? And I go out and I say, Mr. Seller, I think of a low ball, and I say 100 and they take it, right? And I know their lowest they would take is actually 80. And if I asked them what price they're looking to sell, they might have said 90. I would have made an extra $10,000 just because I didn't say the price first. So I'm in the school of thought of making sure that they say the price first versus us. Now I could do a crazy low ball. And the low ball really comes down to one thing, and this is what we call go for no, actually going for the no and actually having the motivated seller say to me, no, I will not take that offer because it's so dang low. Maybe from there, they say the price, you counter with a low ball, usually with these 3 methods, and you should do fine, right? What are these 3 methods, right? These big 3 closing methods are good cop, bad cop method, which is personally my favorite one. The good cop, bad cop method is basically going to a seller and you're blaming the bad cop, which is basically your partner who conveniently is not on the appointment with you right now. You are going to blame them for all your troubles in life and all the issues you have. And it's always a funny one, but it's actually really cool how it works. And what do I mean by this, right? So this is a strategy that detectives use all the time. Good cop, bad cop, or the one cop's really nice, the one cop's really mean, and we blame all the meanness on the bad cop, but really the good cop's controlling the everything for the whole thing. But like, I kind of learned how to do that the right way, and the reason is they've been using that for hundreds of years in police stations and detectives because it works. It's psychologically proven to work, and what that means is we're going to use that for wholesaling to get our deals done. So if I talk to a motivated seller and I say, "Hey, Mr. Seller, I was talking to my partner, Jeff, and he said he wanted to buy this property for like $80,000. And now, guess what? This is why I love this method so much, because you offered $80,000, but you also didn't offer it. You just mentioned casually that your partner said he wanted to buy it for around $80,000. Guess what that means? Oh, I'd never take $80,000. And they're getting really angry at you because you lowballed so low. Guess what you can say? Hey. I know. I get Jeff is crazy. Jeff always wants to buy and sell properties for like crazy prices. He wants to buy this house for $1 and sell it for $1 million. Jeff is ridiculous. He wants to buy it for so low. Trust me, he's crazy. I was just telling you what he was saying. I'm a lot more reasonable guy, okay? Oh, yeah, okay. That's why you're here. Screw Jeff. Yeah, screw Jeff, right? I just offered $70,000 and I got the reaction and I didn't even get in trouble for it, right? It's like playing Fallout or like Skyrim, and you're going out here and you're playing and you do something stupid and you click pause and you can go back to your last save game. Same thing with acquisitions. We try something out, it doesn't work. I just pause, go back to the save game. I got like 1 million lives, right? Same with the good cop, bad cop. Now, the dollar bill method's another really good one too. Hey, Mr. Seller, how much are you looking to sell the property for? Oh, I have no idea how much I'd sell the property for. I get this all the time. When somebody says they have no idea how much they want to sell the property for, 90% of the time they actually do know it. They heard a book somewhere of how to close, that you should, when selling a property, you should never, ever give the price first. Okay, well, you just heard me say it too, right? So like the information's out there. So how do we get around this? I use the dollar bill method. And really the dollar bill method is basically joking with your seller on getting the price out. So how this example goes is like, hey, Mr. Seller, how much are you looking to sell the price for if I'm able to close cash conveniently, really easy? And they say, oh, Zach, I have no idea how much I want to sell the property for. And I can tell in their voice it's fake. Because confidence goes both ways. They can tell you're confident. They can tell you're not confident. And so I can tell pretty quick. I can read people really easy that, oh, yeah, you're not looking to sell the property. Like, you know exactly how much it is. Say, okay, Mr. Seller, if you have no idea how much you want to sell the property for, I mean, like, would you sell the property to me for $1? And I say that with a laugh, a little chuckle, and then I go into it because obviously I'm not going to buy the property for $1. That is literally a joke. It might be $100,000 house. Okay. If I buy it for $1, that's going to be a good deal for me, obviously. Right. And no one in the right mind is going to sell their house for $1. That's why I'm making a joke of it. And the seller says, I would not sell the property for you for $1. I'm like, oh, guess what that happened? That now establishes you have a price in your mind because it's not $1 anymore. So it's theoretically a number above $1. And you explain that to them. I mean, so you're not taking it for $1. I'd never take it for $1. Okay, well, that means you do have a price in mind. No, I don't have a price in mind. Well, Mr. Seller, would you take $1? No. Would you take $2? No. $3? No. $4? No. Like, we can go this all day. Like, we take $5 for it? No, $40,000. Like, that's what I want to sell it for. I'm like, oh, okay. And you kind of frustrate them from there, but like, you just keep going $1 up from $1 until you hit the number, right? And the seller's going to get really frustrated with you. Sometimes they say, oh, yeah, give me a serious offer. Seriously, $1. Like, do you have a counter to that? If you don't have a counter, I will write up the paperwork right now to buy this thing for $1. And they're like, no, it's got to be this price. And they actually give you the real price. I'm telling you, it works really well. Very similar to the volley technique. Rick likes the volley technique. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but he's a big fan of it. And really, the volley technique is just like playing volleyball, right? So you're just playing volleyball, over the net. And hey, Mr. How much are you looking to sell the property for? Oh, I have no idea. Well, Mr. If you did know, what would it be? And then you kind of volley. Statistically, if you volley 3 times, they'll give you the price. Same thing with the dollar bill method. If say $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, usually at the fifth one, they'll actually go out here and say, oh, this price, right? And so you say, I have no idea. Well, I mean, if you didn't know, what would it be? Well, in the perfect world, Mr. Seller, what price would work for you? If I was able to close Mr. Seller, like you do have a price, I'm like, what would it be? 3 times it usually works really well. And whatever price they give, oh, I got to sell it for 60,000. You're going to give what we call the scrunchy face method. And where's the scrunchy face? Okay, so let's do a theoretical negotiation. Okay, so let's do this. Mr. Seller, I was talking to my partner, Jeff, and he was looking at the property before I came. I showed him the Zillow and everything like that, and he wanted to buy it for around $70,000. I could never do $70,000. Oh, okay. What price works for you, Mr. Seller? I mean, I know my MAO in this deal, just FYI, is 100. So they say 90,000. So I'm like, I know I'm going to make 10K on this. So I say this, 90,000. Jeff is going to absolutely kill me if I get this thing under contract for 90. He would be so upset at me. I mean, I'm at 70. You're at 90. I mean, can we just meet in the middle, like 80? Like, does that sound normal? Like, sound okay to you? And the reason why I like meeting in the middle, and you always hear the Chris Voss, never split the difference. Well, Chris Voss was a FBI negotiator. And remember, he's dealing with life or death situations. If Chris Voss loses the negotiation, somebody dies. If I lose the negotiation, I just get a higher price. So we got to understand we're not in life or death situations here, okay? You can't split the difference between the whole hostage dying and them getting their money, okay? This is completely different negotiations, okay? And remember, we're negotiating with motivated sellers, not with irrational, crazy criminals, okay? So you got to understand when you split the difference, yes, theoretically, there's something that they want and something we want, and then we meet in the middle, and that's neutral where I'm not good with it and they're not good with it, right? But you got to remember, if they're at this price that not really works, but I'm at this extreme, let's do this. So if they're at this decently okay price, not retail, but like a little below it, and I'm at this price where I make money and I meet in the middle, we both lose, right? But if they're at this same price and I'm at this super low ball price, and they have to meet me all the way down to my level, basically halfway, split the difference, you're going to net more money. And so split the difference when you lowball super low actually nets you a lot of money because you're lowballing at a price you know is going to be a guaranteed no. For example, if we say this, hey, where do you want to go for dinner? And they say, oh, I want to go to the Capitol Grill, or I want to go to the Nobu Steakhouse, this really fancy steakhouse. And like this really expensive $1,000 Gordon Ramsay steak thing. You say, oh, I want to go to McDonald's. You just countered at such a low quality restaurant for a nice dinner that when you meet in the middle, it's like a burger joint, okay? Because you're lowball. Because if I countered at like, a steakhouse, then you're at a higher price thing, right? But you got to understand that too. And so if I'm negotiating a car and the car's worth 50,000 Kelley Blue Book, and they say they want to sell for 50 and I counter at 1,000, we meet in the middle, that's $26,000. I win by splitting the difference. A lot of people want to logically feel like they did something to win on the negotiation, even if they're not going to make a lot of money on it. They just want to feel like they tried their best. So logically, meet in the middle works a lot too. Bring out the pain points on top of that. So, Mr. Seller, why don't we meet in the middle? You know what? Or, Mr. Seller, I know you want to sell this property so you can go to Michigan with your family. And I know this is such a stressful situation. And I know these sellers are really driving you crazy. If I was able to give you $75,000 and you don't have to deal with this, you're in Michigan in next month with the cash in your hands, can we make that work? Bring up the pain point with the negotiation. It works really well, right? And that's how I close my deals, right? It's not that complicated. It works really well. And that's what I love. And the last part is if your competition, just a bonus factor I like to say, but if your competition is ever mentioned with a motivated seller, kill them with kindness. Okay. You will never, and I want everybody to understand this, you will never, ever get ahead by bad mouthing your competition to a seller. Saying something bad in front of your seller makes you look like a worse person. Oh, I was talking to Jeff Buys Houses and he offered me more. Yeah, Jeff seems like a great guy. I don't know Jeff, but he seems like a great guy. I mean, you should probably go with Jeff. Just do me a favor before you go see Jeff. This is what my team does. Can you look up Jeff on the public records and see how many properties last month he bought? Because I know for a fact Zach Ginn bought 6 houses in the zip code last month. And they look us up. Boom, Jeff's done. But I say it with kindly, right? And go with Jeff, but just make sure you do this one thing before you meet Jeff. Say this in a nice way. Kill your sellers with kindness. This is super important. This is super just amazing for your success. And I can tell you guys straight up, this is what it takes to become successful. So guys, that is my Mastering Acquisitions 101 basically breakdown today. So that's actually how I break down and really close my motivated sellers. I know I kind of went a little more of a rant there, but really this is really what you got to know. And within an hour, I kind of jam-packed everything you need to know on how to close sellers from start to finish. Most people won't talk about this. Most people won't go into full breakdown, but that's the honest truth. So guys, if you got any questions, let me know. But that is my acquisitions breakdown. I literally gave you a $2,000 little mini course just crammed down into this hour. So yeah, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. So, all right. So let's see here. Let's see what questions we got. Love to help the people out and see how we can help. So let's see here. Expand your idea if you can. Let me know what idea you need help expanding on. I can break it down. I need your John Hancock here. Yep. Elijah says, is this live? Elijah, this is not live. This was recorded 4 weeks ago, but I appreciate you asking your question live. I brought it up live, and I know this was like a month ago, but I'm bringing up your question a month because I knew you were going to ask this question. So I made this graphic because I just guessed it. Hey, Zach, love the setup. What are the screens behind you? This behind me is Master Roshi's house. So you don't know what that is, look it up. Pretty cool. But is that Goku? I think that's him. Oh no. That's Master Roshi's house. So pretty cool. I love it. I like it. I thought it was kind of cool. But technically Krillin's house, if you look at it too. But call it Roshi's. Just to be nice. Let's see here. Confidence equals experience and belief. Yes, I would say belief will trump the experience if you really believe in yourself, because people with experience sometimes don't believe it, still won't sound confident. So I'd avoid that. Be careful there. Let's see here. Facebook says, I love the Akatsuki background the other day. Everyone's saying I'm the Akatsuki. I'm like, I'm not the Akatsuki, okay? I'm not. That's I'm not going to spoil anything, but that's not, I am not the Akatsuki, okay? Because I'm the opposite. We're good. We're good, okay? We're forces for good, okay? But yeah. I just think it looks cool, so sometimes we put it in the bag. Not because we're evil, okay? I just think it looks cool, okay? And you gotta admit, like, the Akatsuki can roll out in some pretty high fashion, all right? They got the rings. They got the cool robes. Now, they know they know how to dress, okay? They have the drip, okay? All right, so let's see. So Diego says, Zach, how to reverse engineer to find a cash buyer without reaching out to an agent? So my best ways to find cash buyers I've always found have been through going through the cash sales on like listria.com, PropStream. Remember, guys, I want everyone to understand, if you go to freewholesaling.com, my free real estate wholesaling course, I break down exactly start to finish how to actually wholesale houses the right way, absolutely for free, literally cost $0. But yeah, that's how I do it. So go to freewholesaling.com. I have cash buyer modules in there that will break down that entire process. But how do you reverse engineer? So go to cash sales, cold call the for rents, go to Facebook groups, freewholesaling.com. We break it down. So guys, make sure you all go to freewholesaling.com if you want to learn everything I said. I actually have live calls with acquisitions of like me talking to real sellers. I have one thing in freewholesaling.com, me closing, I think, a $50,000 virtual deal. It was a virtual deal, closed the seller absolutely for free. I gave it out for free, but I closed them for $50,000 virtual deal. This was in like, I think I was 19 years old. I recorded the conversation though. I'm pretty sure it was in my dorm room. But like I recorded the convo and I actually had it for my sales team and I just gave it. And then we actually had to change it up because we kind of changed our process a little, how we closed it. And so basically what I did was when I was training my acquisitions person this year on like 4 appointments where I just closed them myself, I took my phone, I clicked record, and I just kind of put it in my pocket. And I had a really clear recording of me actually closing a couple sellers. And I put that in instead of the 2019 one because mine was a little more updated and I sound less squeaky voiced and a lot more confident. So we did that too. But yeah, let's see. Just locked up 5 buyers with 2 days. It's awesome. Awesome. Let's see here. Yeah, good cop, bad cop method uses a lot too. Let's see. Yeah, Kaylin's got to go in here. My favorite takeaway. Guys, if you have great takeaways, let them know in the comments and in the basic comments ever, because your notes and everything you say, I tell you, if you're writing notes on these YouTube lives and everything I say, post the notes because you and somebody across the entire country can actually get some value from that too. So I love Kaylin giving his favorite takeaway here that it actually helps a lot of people understand. But when they say that they are trying to get scrunchy face and they have a really hard time with the price, show you're wrestling with it. Probably makes them shaky about their asking price. Yes. Remember, guys, the one takeaway I can say from his question, though, is Kaylin's saying that they have an asking price. I want you to understand when you have a motivated seller, the price that they say is their asking price. They're asking for that price. Okay. It's like when you're saying to your mom coming home, can we have McDonald's? Oh, we have food at home. No, you're asking for McDonald's. You're not getting McDonald's, right? They're asking for the price. Are they really getting the price? We got food at home. All right. What's the food? It's like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but I won't break down my childhood trauma on you. And we get these comments, these fake spammers in the chat. Guys, if you get a DM from me and it says this like stupid little things like this, block them. Okay. For example, my Instagram tag is so I'll give a very shameless plug, but my Instagram tag is @flipwithzach. Okay. My Instagram is @flipwithzach. Okay. Now I don't need your followers. I got plenty of followers on Instagram, but that is my Instagram handle. And if you get a DM from @flip with 2 W's with Zach or 2 Z's, that is not me. That is a fake spammer. And I want you guys to understand that. If you get a DM from me asking for money or coins or anything stupid, I rarely ever DM people out of the blue. Okay, I don't do it. All right, unless you posted a check and I want you to have on the podcast, I'm not going to DM you. All right. There's only one person that I DM ever usually, and it's just stupid, right? So there's one guy, Flip with 2 P's. I've reported him so many times, but they have me blocked so I can't even see them to report them. They're pretty smart. But they'll DM you, Flip with Rick with 2 P's. They'll DM you asking you for money. And some of y'all try to give them money. It's really it stresses me out that you guys even try that. And honestly, I shouldn't even stress out because if you think I ask for money and you actually give me money, you probably don't know me good enough. No, I'll never ask for money from you guys, okay? Justin says, Justin can understand, all right? Got a DM with fake you yesterday talking about this. I can't say this keyword on YouTube, but like, I'm telling you, all right? They ask you about this. Can you send this over in this crazy? Okay, it's fake. These are scammers. Do not. I hate that I even have to give time out in my day to tell you guys about this. It doesn't work, all right? But yeah, don't do it, all right? Drives me crazy. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Let's see what other questions you got here. All right. So let's do some one-on-ones. I want to talk to the people today. So how do you hop on the one-on-ones? How do you talk to me? How do we have some conversations? How do we do this? Basically, all you got to do is go to Wholesaling Houses for Real, my free real estate wholesaling Facebook group. Is the largest wholesaling mastermind in the country. And all you got to go here is go to Wholesaling Houses for Real. 83,000 members strong. So shout out to everybody in here. And all you got to do is go out here and scroll down, and you see the feature tab right here. Click this feature tab right here, and you're going to be here. It's going to say, here's the video for the day, 1 p.m. Join here is a StreamYard link. You click the StreamYard link, and boom, you actually go out here and you can talk to me absolutely for free, one-on-one. So let's do some one-on-ones. Let's see how I can help the people out and help you become a better wholesaler. So first person we have Addison.
Hey, what's up, brother?
I'm blessed, man. What's up? How can I help you out today?
All right, man. I've been watching you for probably like 6 months now, probably back in June. I have some questions written down here for you. So my market is Saratoga Springs, New York.
Okay.
And I want to say it's a saturated market, but it's New York, if you know what I mean. Kind of have that attitude. So I went into the courthouse trying to ask for water shutoffs, and they looked at me like I got like 3 heads.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, so what they told me is that they put it at the end of their mortgage at the end of the year. So everybody that has water shutoffs, that total amount gets put onto the end of the year, so they don't necessarily keep a list.
Okay.
So I was wondering how I would acquire that by, coming to that.
Pretty simple. You just ask for a list of all properties that they put at the end of the mortgage. So you got to get very specific, because it's kind of like life. You get what you ask of it, right? And so basically what that means here is if they say, oh, we actually put in the end of the mortgages, can you give me a list of all the properties you put at the end of the mortgage because they don't pay?
Okay.
They're trying to get you to say no.
Okay, so just like repetition kind of thing.
Keep asking. And then you can get a FOIA act if you have to.
Yeah, I actually called another county, and the woman was like straight up, she's like, okay, if you want this list, you're going to have to file a FOIA act.
Yeah, file it.
Yeah. Like I've been watching your videos, and you're like, usually it takes like 3 times for them to ask. And she was just right off the bat. She's like, nah, like, why would you want this list? You're going to have to file that shit.
Just keep asking.
Yeah.
Get annoying. You have a gatekeeper. All right. Just keep asking, dude. Because a lot of wholesalers have tried and they're just saying no to it. Keep asking, dude. The more you ask, the more, dude, I promise you will get it. All right.
Right.
So the lady said why you're asking from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because she thinks she controls everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great, actually, because that means your competition's not getting to
They're not getting those lists at all.
So guess what? You're going to go again and ask.
Absolutely.
And guess you're going to say when they say no. Can I speak to your manager?
Right.
Because your manager's actually going to understand how the United States works, and that you actually they get paid from taxpayers, and taxpayers can actually get this information. This isn't FBI secret Kennedy, files from presidents that's like confidential. Okay. This is not Army secrets, right? Like you're going to get this information. You have to ask a lot, but I promise you, this list is going to be amazing, dude.
Yeah, totally.
Persistence is key, bro.
What was that?
Persistence is key.
All right.
So Rick always says this, man, but how do you overcome resistance? Persistence. So go in person again and don't stop.
All right.
You're going to be the point where it's so annoying, they're just going to give you the list.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Saratoga Springs is good. Is that by Ticonderoga?
Kind of. Yeah, it's like it's a bit far.
Okay. Like what is it, north of Albany?
Like an hour.
Is it north of Albany?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's a great market, dude.
Yeah.
That's fine, dude. Anything outside of, I think, Hudson Valley, you're fine.
Okay.
Like, dude, you can actually make a lot of money wholesaling there.
Okay.
I actually got off of I had a podcast with Brian Holmes, full-time electrical engineer, $25,000 first deal in Syracuse.
Holy.
Like upstate, if you can go around the whole lawyer thing.
Right. That's where I get a little like nervous, because New York is like one of those states where it's a little hairy, but
you should get actually less nervous, man.
Yeah.
Because it's actually going to be more above board than anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, that's good to know. Thank you.
So you got to find the right lawyer that's okay with you wholesaling it, but after that, you're going to be fine, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're good to go, dude.
Sweet.
It's all about finding the right lawyer, and if you can do that, I think you're going to do fine.
All right.
All right, man. Any other questions?
I'm trying to get together an action plan because I've been hemming and hawing about this thing for like 6 months, and now I'm finally ready to kind of like take accountability and really pull the trigger on this thing.
That's the worst thing you can possibly tell me, man.
Yeah.
Because that means I'm gonna put your butt to the fire, man.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Need to
on this
work.
call. I've been watching you, and now it's time for me to be on the other side and actually
You're
do
gonna like what I'm gonna say,
it.
but it's gonna get you actually working.
Yeah.
It's actually gonna lead you to getting your first deal. All right. So let's talk about this. Do you have a job?
I work for my dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is that work schedule like?
Pretty lenient, Like I
Okay.
could work 4 days a week if I wanted to.
Okay. I mean, make sure your income's fine where you can take care of yourself.
Yeah.
But what if you want to take care of yourself to live comfortably?
Mhm.
What is that work going to look like?
What was that?
What is that going to look like for you?
Like a work week?
Yes.
I don't know, maybe like 25 hours, 30 hours,
Okay. What times?
like 9 to 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's contract work. It's like we're doing interior house painting.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
not bad actually, dude. So Albany's not that bad right now, right? Is it in the 50s? Where you're
Dude,
at?
it's crazy. It's super warm. It's raining right now.
Yeah. So you're at here's what I'm thinking with you, because you're gonna be at a point where it's gonna be almost impossible to drive for dollars in a month, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna get really hard. So what I want you to do is, before drawing for dollars basically gets stopped for 2 months, I want you to drive for dollars. That's going to be my top priority for you,
Mhm.
because drawing for dollars is just going to not even be an existent thing.
Right. Everything's covered in snow. It's like
But right now it's not.
right.
So I think you need to do that. I think that should be priority number one,
Okay.
because it's not going to even be a thing.
Mhm.
And here's the reason why. Because if you can pull a list of all those ugly houses and have them while it's snowing, you have that list, and your
Yeah.
competition's not going to be able to pull that list.
Mhm.
So I think that's priority number one, drawing for dollars,
Okay.
and reverse drawing for dollars.
All
So I
right.
think that's where you should put 80% of our time right now.
Okay.
And so the other 20%, we should be talking to cash buyers and seeing where they're looking to buy it
Mm-hmm.
and drive for dollars in those areas.
Yeah.
If you've been watching for 6 months, you know where to put in those sticky notes, right?
Yeah, right on front door.
What are you going to say on them?
Ask them if they're interested in selling. Right? No.
6 months, man. All right. All right. You know what? We're adding
I'll
this
tell
on
you,
top
it's
of
been
this,
on
dude.
and
Now,
off.
all right.
It's been on and
You just ruined your own weekends, bro.
Oh,
You just destroyed your weekends. On the weekends, you're going to go to freeholstein.com and actually go through the whole course.
okay.
So I know you did not.
Yep.
So on the weekends now, we're going to skip watching Netflix and we are going to watch
Come on, man.
freeholstein.com.
Yeah.
All right. I will give you 5 hours on the weekends to watch freeholstein.com.
Okay.
All right. And that's what we're doing. You can do whatever you want. 5 hours, freeholstein.com. And we're going to get through it, actually how to do this the right way.
All right.
And then from there, we're going to reverse drive for dollars. On the sticky notes, on reverse drawing for dollars, I like to put, hey, this is Addison. I had a
Mhm.
quick question about your property. Please give me a call back.
Okay.
That's what you say. It's at the reverse drawing for. It's on the drawing for dollars section in freeholstein.com.
Yeah, that makes sense because that's your script.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, that's pretty much it, dude. So your homework is by next Tuesday. So that would be the 10th.
Okay.
I would like for you to let me know how many calls you've gotten from 100 sticky notes you put out.
All right.
Not 99, not 98, 100.
All right.
And then I want you to give me the first name of the person that said no to you again when you go there again to get that list
Okay. You want me to go visit again?
every week till you get it.
All right. Hell yeah.
And while you're drawing for dollars, just go by that.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, dude. Yeah. Thank you, man.
How far is Albany from you?
It's probably like 30 minutes.
All right. That's gonna be a different county, right?
Yeah.
Try to do that county's water shut off too.
Okay.
And while you're at the courthouse, get the code violations
Mm-hmm.
and try to see if you can get any other lists.
Albany would be a good market too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Go after it, man.
Thank you, dude.
All right. Well, you have your homework. Watch this video again, or this little conversation we had,
Mhm.
and now you're gonna know what to do. And I'm gonna remember it. And you ain't gonna be happy, but it's gonna be a lot of work, and it's gonna actually help you actually get better.
Yeah, dude.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Thanks.
Oh, guys, I'm here to help everyone. If you want to hop on here, I'll give you a game plan. But here's the problem. When Addison comes on next week, I am going to make sure he does what he has to do. And he ain't going to like it, but it's going to lead him to better success. All right, next person we got. We got Jay. Farah. Hold on. Get these people out of here. Kyra?
Hi,
Is it Kira or Kyra?
it's Kyra.
Kyra, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Awesome. What's up? How can I help you out?
So I just wrote down a list of questions. I'm kind of like just starting out in the Detroit and Houston market.
Where do you live?
I live in Houston, but I'm originally from Detroit. I've been out here for like a year now.
Okay, we're going to stick to Houston.
Stick to Houston.
I think it's going to be better. In person is going to be better.
Okay. So as far as like pulling the probates or whatever, I'm gonna do it online. I tried to get them this morning. I'm gonna probably go back next week, but I don't have a car, so I had to take a Lyft.
Okay.
But she told me that they didn't like have a list or something. Like I had to do my own research or something.
So Harris County is actually really easy to do it.
Yeah, it's Harris County I'm in.
So just go to the Harris County Probate Court and call them. There's actually a phone number, Harris County Court Records, Probate Court Records. So you want their phone number?
Yeah.
713 713-274-8600.
Okay. Cool. So I'll just call them and ask them like, how do I get a list for the probates for like the past 30 days?
We're going to be a little more confident with this. I need a list of the probates for the next 30 days. You get what you ask for in life, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be, yeah, that's what I do.
Okay. And then when I get the list, like for certain ones, like, okay, the probates that I saw one of your videos, you guys were getting them online, but it was kind of like one by one. And I guess I'm just having a hard time visualizing, even when it comes to like when I get my cash buyers off of Facebook, or I'm gathering these lists together that I'm putting in Excel. Is it like one by one, or
You can get Excel. You can export the court records if you want. Depends how you get them, how they're sent to you.
oh, so it depends on like the format?
Mm-hmm.
Is that when you're skip tracing too? Does it have to be a certain format?
Yeah, it's to be, well, it depends because you're copy and pasting with TruePeelSearch.com sometimes. It just depends. I hate saying that, but it's true.
Yeah, because I guess I would have to see when I get into it, but I was just wondering about that, like all these different lists that I'm getting and
You can
different.
copy and paste it. It's not that complicated.
Okay. You can copy and paste the whole entire list.
It depends on the list.
Like, what if you're doing the text blasting for the? I don't know.
You would need an Excel format, so like a Google Sheets to do it.
Okay.
Go to freelisting.com. It's all in there how to organize the data and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go in there and check that out. And I think that was it so far.
Okay. Go to freelisting.com. I would expand a lot more than probates. I'd go to water shutoffs. I'd go after code violations, tax delinquencies, liens. There's a million of them, but freelisting.com, pre-foreclosures, like they're all in there. So I'd go through there and figure out how to do it the right way.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Any
you.
other questions?
No.
All right. I'll get it going. Boom. All right. So guys, if you have to copy and paste and do all this manual, like annoying tasks, one thing you can do And this is something I did do is just listen to these videos in the background while you're doing it, and you can double your efficiency. All right. It's important. You don't have to see my beautiful face while you're listening to my information sometimes. You can do other work while doing it. I know a lot of people drive for dollars while listening to my live streams because like obviously like you can like there's a lot of great visuals and it is best watching on YouTube, but like you can listen to me in the background like it's not going to affect too much on it. But yeah. Tony.
Yo.
What's up?
What's up, man? Nothing. I'm just chilling. Got a lot of cash buyers. I got a cash buyer about to check out the property I told you about today.
Awesome.
In about an hour. And yeah, that's all with me. I don't really have nothing.
No questions?
So should I tell the cash buyer to like, because you know how I told you that the cash to get the keys to the property, they're gonna have to go through the seller.
Yeah.
Should I tell him not to like really talk to the seller and be like, yo, could he like, like really not talk to?
You gotta say it in the right way.
Yeah, that's how
if they're the only person, they're gonna talk to the seller a little bit, but explain that to the seller that you are a partner.
Yeah, I told. Yeah,
and there's no negotiating on the price. That's basically it.
Okay, so okay. Yeah, man, that's it. I'm just excited. I'm nervous. All types of stuff. I just hope this works out, man, because sheesh, a lot of things are coming against me, bro. Because I was really learning wholesaling for like 2 months, but I wasn't cold calling because I worked the graveyard from like 12 to like 6. Come home, sleep all day, and then go back to work type stuff. And then I got fired because I didn't go one day, and that's when I started calling like for like a good like 3 weeks. And
yeah.
So I just hope this works out for me. So I want to kind of look for a job or be so like, I don't know. Yeah. Type thing.
All right. Go after it, man.
I am. Thank you, Zach, for everything.
Okay. Boom. All right. Next we got Brett.
My man.
How are you doing today?
Super well, buddy. I appreciate it. I just want to start by being your dad. Thanks for what you guys doing. Super great resource. Also got to shout out the backgrounds. I was the one who just mentioned the Akatsuki. That was dope. And the other day, I'm doing back there. Also pretty dope.
Of course, man.
So I went
awesome.
I had a couple questions just about nuances, right? So I'm in the Jersey market, which seems like is a little bit different, only in the sense that the prices are so much more inflated than everywhere else, right?
It depends where in Jersey, but yeah, we're in Jersey.
So I'm specifically in Jersey City, like the Jersey City Hoboken area.
Oh, okay.
One of your videos, you mentioned trying to kind of stay away from an ARV over 600, which is where we're floating around. So I'm beginning to start to drive for dollars. And my question is it worth driving around here, or per your video the other day, should I just stick to kind of Middlesex and the surrounding areas and really just spend my time there?
How far is Middlesex County and Essex from you?
Not at all. And I grew up around there, so I don't mind even taking the drive.
Probably, man. Like I'm just saying, like I would probably. Yeah, that's probably gonna be best. Now it's not the end of the world, dude. Like it's not really the worst area. I'm looking at the map right here for you. I mean, I'd probably do that honestly. With the ARV is a little lower, but really what you got to do too is just ask your cash buyers where they're looking to buy and just go in those areas too. So sometimes you can do the higher ARVs, and the only thing that's going for you is there's a lot of buyers.
Yeah.
And so you can overcome some of it with that, but you just got to find the right property.
And it was kind of balanced. But you also mentioned, the best areas, great, good money, shitty house in a good area. And Jersey City's kind of starting to become that, but the ARV is just so high. And my question, I guess, is also, what's, besides the obvious, why not a higher ARV? Or is it just when you get to those higher numbers, the cash buyers, it's just a tighter deal?
It's human beings. It's nature, psychology, man.
Yeah.
So for example, would you take a 10% discount on selling a $50,000 car, or would you take a 10% discount on selling a $5 hamburger? Like you're willing to pay an extra 50 cents for a burger, but are you willing to pay an extra $5,000 for a car knowing you're paying the premium for it today? No.
Yeah.
When numbers get larger, it's harder to give a deeper discount. And unfortunately, the laws of flipping houses, the fees are the percentages. And so the percentages stay the same, but the ARVs go up.
Yep.
It's a lot harder for someone to sell for a discount.
Gotcha.
And so unfortunately, that's the issue.
All right. So Elizabeth area, Middlesex, I'll kind of stick to that.
Yeah.
watched your dad's Driving for Dollars video on the course, so I'm gonna stick to that 500 number now. I'll call back next Tuesday and we'll see how it did.
Go after reverse drive for dollars. Do all of it, man. It'll work really well.
Appreciate it, buddy.
All right, let me know if you got any questions.
You got it, buddy.
Oh, awesome. Love to see it. But yeah, guys, I'm here to help as many people as possible learn wholesale and real estate. So let's go to some more questions and see how I can help the people out. All right, here. What should I do if there's a landmark 180-year-old tree on the property? That's toughy. Honestly, if there's a 180-year-old tree on the property and it's a landmark, you probably can't do anything about it. Sometimes even trimming it is going to be an issue. So y'all got to be careful on that one. Jeff Anderson says, freeholsting.com is amazing, guys. Free killer info. Gurus charge a lot of info. Love to see it. Let's see here. I'm not going to, if you reverse drive for dollars and you go up safely, don't worry about that. Okay. I think a lot of people get stressed out over that. If you're in decent areas, you're going to be fine. Now, that's why I always say in wholesaling real estate, it works best when you wholesale in low crime areas with low ARVs. That's the best way. So, yeah. All right. Take a couple more questions here. Let's see. The search, do you have to see what you told her? You said, Zach, you and a partner are cash buyers. Agent didn't own the house. Oh, geez. Had someone say yes to the dollar yesterday, but the seller refused to send me an email to send over the agreement. Oh, my gosh. Let's see here. How do you do pre-foreclosures? I go to freeholsting.com, and that we have a whole module on it. I like texting, and just locking the contract up. Diego, what is up? You're muted again.
There we go.
How's the MLS wholesaling going?
Dude, I just had a very interesting phone call with a realtor. He was real cool, super cool. We built some rapport. He even shot me a bone with like another property that has not been listed, and he said he'll get back to me when he signs the agreement. It's a friend of his, he said. So my question was, for the property that I called them for, they had it listed at 150, right? Which was not realistic at the time, right? It's been on the market for over 120 days, right? It's actually 128 days that it's been on the market. He said he had got an offer and the guy rejected it. The guy rejected the offer of 90, right? I asked him if he can have a conversation. I made a mistake by saying, I said I would be closer to like 112, right? The property next
door again?
It's listed for 150.
Okay.
The property next door sold for 160. Same, not cookie cutter, but the same. 3-1, 1,300 square feet. It's all the same. He called me back. He said, yeah, let me see what I could do. He also disclosed that the guy owes $100,000 on the property.
Okay.
I said 112, and then he said, all right, let me, because he needed to go to the property and to see, because it's on a waterfront. He needed to go see make sure that there was no issues going on with it. He's also willing to do walkthroughs, video walkthroughs if I couldn't make it. I told him that I was in New York City. He was down with all of that. So when he called me back, he was like, Diego, what was the price that you said? I felt like I kind of messed up by saying a price, right? And then so when he said it, I said, look, if $100,000 can get us a conversation, I'm down with that, right? He said, oh man, I thought you said it was 100, you said 112. And I said, well, if 100 could start a conversation, and we can see what, how he feels about it, then, I'll be down. Was that the wrong thing to do?
Did you offer to him to be the agent too?
I did. I sure did. At the first phone call, I didn't disclose any of that. The second phone call, when he called me back, I did disclose that. He was super down. He also said he has like boots on the ground in different markets in Pennsylvania. So he was down with all of that, right?
Try 105.
Yes. So I'm
hoping get something, right? If they owe 100.
Right. So I was hoping, I'm hoping that he calls back and he says, hey, the 112 would be good. And then I could shoot him back down to like 105. What do you, yeah?
Yeah, I talked to my partner. We're going to be at 105.
We're going to be at 105. Okay. Yeah. So what do you think that's a good offer?
I think if it's listed for 150, 105 is probably a decent offer.
It's probably a decent offer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It needs some work. It needs about 20 grand of work.
Okay.
Yeah. It needs about 20 grand of work. Property next door sold for also property next door sold for 160, he said. And then he was just telling me about, just telling me about, hey, you're a cash buyer, you should stick around, after the property is all fixed up, stick around like 250, 260. That's like the sweet spot right now. He was saying, like, for the market, and stuff like that. So I just wanted to see if I was like, doing right. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to.
I think it's decent. I think 105 will work. Yeah.
Yeah, and he owes 100 grand on it, right? So I was saying,
win-win.
It's a win-win, right? Okay,
make those win, right? You're making money, they're making money, and the seller gets some money off of it. So, and the realtor gets both of it. So, yeah.
Right. So, and then he also shot me he gave me the address of the other property. He gave me the address of that property, but it's not listed, right? So
let's get one deal on a contract first.
Let's get one deal on contract.
All right, let's focus on one, man. All right.
Hell yeah. All right. Thanks, Zach. I appreciate what you do, bro.
All right. Well, are you going to lock it up?
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to get back and see what he says about the deal. Or maybe should I reach out to him again? Like, we just spoke maybe like 20 minutes ago.
Or just wait.
Just wait.
Call him back tomorrow. See what's going on. Get it done fast, bro.
All right. Gotcha. All right. Thanks, Zach. Appreciate you, man. Happy New Year. All right.
You too. Oh. All right. Next we got Roger.
Hey, what's going on, Zach?
I'm blessed, man. What's up? How can I help you out?
Yeah, so I currently have a property under contract in Fort Myers. I kind of put a post not too long ago about like how I was dealing with the seller. He wanted to amend the contract and stuff like that, but luckily, I was able to, get him away from that, and we were able to agree on just leaving the contract as is, because I kind of explained the situation and how it works.
Okay.
But he is in Illinois. The property is in Fort Myers, and I am in Rhode Island. So kind of have a dilemma, how would you get like a buyer in there? Like, would the buyer basically do everything for you, or?
You can have the buyer do everything for you, but you can also have a boots on the ground do it. You pay him $50 to show the property, take pictures of it. You have a lockbox on the house. There's a lot of ways to do it.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. He said the property's locked. You probably have to like change the lock or something like that. How would you go about finding like boots on the ground?
Facebook groups are the best ways to do it.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Then like
Carlson.com, it's all in there.
Gotcha. And then the seller has like a few requests. He said he has a few items if we can like we kind of agreed on those terms. He said if we can like put a few of his items in storage, he would agree. And I don't know if that was
If
like
you get enough money on the deal, then yeah, you could probably make that work.
Okay, cool. All right. I mean, yeah, that's all I had.
All right. I mean, is it locked up for a good price, do you think?
We kind of estimate is at like 40% ARV.
Okay.
Yeah, but it does need a lot of work. Probably like 70 to 80. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me know if you need help with anything. But yeah, I'm always here to help, bro.
All right. Thanks, Zach.
All right. Thanks. Boom. Awesome. Love to see it. So let's answer some questions and then see what we got. Yo, I'm in Fort Myers. Awesome. Love to see that. So what contracts I use? I use the freehosting.com contracts. They work the best here. Sebastian says, how do you do a deal with a non-English speaking motivated seller? Basically, the only way is usually there's family members that speak English, or you can have a friend that speaks another language. That's going to be your best bet to do it. I've had wholesalers wanting to do it. You can, but you can always JV with someone that does speak Spanish. But there's a million ways to do it. Like there's guys in wholesaling real estate, there's a million ways to make $1 million. So I really want to get too caught up on that. Yeah. When do I normally go live? I normally go live 1 o'clock on basically the Flip with Rick, Zakin, Wholesaling Houses for Real, and the Flip with Rick, Zakin, Wholesaling House for Real, and the Rick In channel. All righty. It's true. The more no's you get, the closer you are to getting a deal. Hands down. Alrighty. See what other questions we got. Childhood trauma. Oh my gosh. All right. Let's see here. So these lives are uploaded on the Flip with Rick YouTube channel. So go to Flip with Rick on YouTube and they'll be on there. So you can actually go out here and figure out exactly what you got to do. But yeah, go to the Flip with Rick YouTube channel. That's where they're actually going to be at. So yeah. So guys, if you want to start going actually out here and learning acquisitions in wholesaling real estate, just do me a big favor. Go to freewholesaling.com. That's my free real estate wholesaling course where I break down everything you need to know from wholesaling real estate from A to Z. Freewholesaling.com. That's my free real estate wholesaling course. So that's it, guys. So I'll be on tomorrow at 1 p.m. Let me know if you guys have any requests or questions. But it's going to be a really fun video tomorrow. So I'm excited for it. So guys, tomorrow, check me out 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time PM, and I'll see you guys soon. So guys, this is acquisitions. This is actually how you go out here and learn wholesaling real estate absolutely for free and learn acquisitions really. So go to freewholesaling.com. It's on there. So guys, see you guys soon. This is Zach and Sonny.